All right, guys, welcome back to another Alavea Pros. And man, am I excited for this one because I get to hang out with my first soccer podcast player here. Rachel, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great and so excited to hang out with you. You are a student athlete, you are a soccer player, you're sponsored by this company. I can't wait to spend some time with you, but we have to get to the most serious question. I know we're in the holidays, you're not in school right now. World Cup is coming up. It's coming to America, Mexico, Canada. Do you believe, like a lot of people, that Canada is going to win this?
I would like to say no comment on that. I am unsure. I personally am going for the US myself, but I
Okay.
mean, Canada can probably hold their own. But I mean, we never know. Lots of crazy things happen within the World Cup.
This is fair. I'm Canadian. You're American. We're having a little Canadian US battle podcast. That's a good way to
Natural,
start
yes,
it
of
off.
course.
I figure you have to have that competitiveness. So that's wonderful. But hey, tell everybody, because I've always been fascinated by the sport, soccer, and of course, football around the world. And I think people don't realize like just how massive it is. Like it is, I think outside of maybe the Olympics, the most watched sport in the world is this World Cup. And you are a scholarship player. Can you tell us where you're going to school? And how did you first get into soccer, and how did that lead you into playing for college level soccer?
Yeah, of course. So I go to Stephen F. Austin State University down in Nacogdoches, Texas. It's for those who don't know, if you look at Dallas and Houston, it's like right smack dab in the middle. So very small
Nice.
town, very quaint, very homey. I got into playing soccer when I was about 5 years old. My dad tells
Oh
me the story
wow.
of, yeah, very young. I've been playing all my life. I love it though. I got into it according to him. I was kicking around a ball with him one day in the backyard, and I just asked him, like, sign me up for soccer. And so ever since then, it's just been history. So I've been playing for about, let's see, 13 years. I originally lived in Texas. I'm from Dallas originally. I now live in Parker,
Oh wow.
Colorado, which is outside of Denver. So I played while I was in Texas, came up here, started playing competitive when I was about middle school time frame. And
Mm.
then ever since then, got into like the really competitive soccer world of UCNL. Then I got recruited. And now I'm here playing college soccer. I'm literally living my dream. So
Oh my
that's kind of
goodness.
how I got into it.
I'm so happy for you. And tell me a little bit more about soccer, especially for those that are watching this that may not know a ton about the sport. What position do you play, and what is it about soccer that like what is the passion driver behind it?
So I play in college. I'm an outside back or like a winger, so it's anywhere on the outside, either defensive, offensively. I'm just anywhere on the outside that you can think of. I think my biggest thing, especially as I've gotten older, I think my biggest motivator is the people I surround myself with, my teammates, and the
Mm.
friends I make within my team. I am very competitive. I'm competitive in a lot of other things outside of soccer. That's just who I am. That's just my character, my nature. But I think it's the people and the culture that I surround myself with. That's the one thing that keeps me going every single day. Because there have been times in my career that I don't want to play this sport. It's very mentally and physically exhausting, and it takes someone who has grit and someone who has the drive to continue. And so I think the people that I have surrounded myself with and have played with throughout my entire career has been one of my biggest motivators.
That is so awesome. And by the way, I felt a little bit of that competitiveness in the beginning with the question about Canada and US soccer. So I'm going to stay away from competitive questions, but you do see that. And I do love because you and I have that different background. I built the largest tennis school in Canada. I was a nationally ranked tennis player. So it was very individual, where I
Mhm.
love when I get to spend time with people who it's that team. And you hear that so often. It's like, it's not just the sport, it's something about being on that team. By the way, I think I'll have to finish the question. I'll let you prep now, but we're going to go to a Ted Lasso question at the end. Like you have to, right?
Oh, I cannot lie. I haven't really watched Ted Lasso. I know as a soccer player, it's the one thing I'll admit, but I have seen clips of it on like social media.
Okay,
My
yeah.
but I'll try to prepare as best as I can.
Maybe what we'll do is we'll book a second podcast and we'll go to Ted Lasso in the second one. I feel like we have to do a follow up with you anyways,
Perfect.
but
I would love to.
well, I'd love to know, like, so you're a student athlete too,
Mhm.
and for those that I know there's a lot of student athletes that are going to be watching this, a lot of coaches, trainers, athletes, because, I think what's amazing is the discipline you get from sport that you tie into school. So what are you taking at school and how has sport helped your education?
Sport has helped my education as in I have worked with people, especially in soccer, all of my life. So in group settings I thrive in. I It's very
Mm.
easy for me to work with others. I can take on a leadership role or just tell me what to do and I'll do it. It's very easy for me. I can get along with people very well. And especially in school with my teachers, I have been coached all my life by a multiple variety of different people. So I meet a lot of different personalities, especially within my professors. I know how some of them operate. I know how some of them like the way you turn your work in, like the way you perform in class. Then some of the times, like the lectures and the projects that we're given, I know and understand the way that they would like that to be turned into them. So I think working with people has helped me a
That's
lot.
powerful.
Yes, especially in sport and correlating that to school.
Wow. And so what are you taking right now?
I'm a kinesiology major, so I'm currently taking, let's see, this past semester.
Me too. That's why you and I are connecting so well.
Perfect. Oh, what a small world. But I'm a freshman, so I haven't really taken any major classes. Like for my major, I've taken introduction classes. I've taken like a history class. I took a statistics class this past semester. And then the 2 classes I did have to take for my major were like very like foundation of kinesiology and health and wellness concepts. So just understanding, I learned about like different kinds of cancers, how the body regulates, what kind of like what addiction looks like, etc., and very basic general information kind of like that.
Well, there is one huge difference, let alone being the Canada US, let alone being tennis, soccer, let alone being the kinesiology. I think it's the 130-year age gap from when I took school compared to you. So that's the big difference.
Yeah.
But I'm sure things have changed. But I think, one of the things I think that has changed a whole lot is how people are knowledgeable about their health. Like I know when I was a competitive athlete and built the companies I built, back in the day, people weren't taking their nutrition as serious. I remember we'd be playing tournaments and we'd be hitting McDonald's and stuff like that. Where today there's a lot more education. So do you find that, like, is that something that you've just been interested in? Or do you see it like with a lot of the student athletes you work with? Is there more of a conscious understanding of, I don't want to be putting this bad stuff in my body. I'd rather be trying to put good stuff in my body, let my body do what it needs to do?
I believe so, yes, especially among soccer players. And I used to run track in high school, especially among track athletes as well. I am one that I'm very conscientious of my health and wellness and like well-being. I actually, when I got home, I begged my mom, I was like, can you please buy me these groceries so I can make these kinds of foods and stuff. So I meal prep on my own because I just think
Wow.
I value that a lot. I take care of myself in my mind a pretty decent amount. I think among athletes, especially speaking on my teammates and stuff, I think we're very self-aware of what we eat. And so it also does play a role of how does this benefit me even in school, because what you eat affects your physical health, well-being, but it also affects your mental. And if you don't feed your body right, you won't feed your mind right. Therefore, it's very hard to focus in class. It's very hard to get things done in general. So I believe as an athlete, yes, we are all very well aware. But then you can also have like sometimes like, oh, we're going to go hit a little McDonald's run. Like sometimes we can also get in that mindset of, oh, I'm an athlete. I'll just burn it off tomorrow at practice. But I think overall, yes, we are very nitpicky on what we eat and choose to tend toward move towards like
Well,
that.
the 80-20 rule is
All about
allowed, right?
balance.
We can have some fun. Well,
Yes.
talk about that transition, because you are a sponsored athlete now.
Mhm.
You are sponsored by this company called Alivea, which sponsors coaches, trainers, athletes, healthcare professionals, but launched this new division by partnering with student athletes through the new NIL name, image, and likeness program.
Mhm.
And you applied and got accepted. And I think somebody with your mindset and your passion already, you're such a perfect fit for this company. Talk to us a little bit about, like, how were you introduced to Alivea and what was it that caught your attention, thinking like, yeah, this is a company I'd be willing to put my name, image, likeness on.
Perfect. Yeah, I was introduced to Alivea through our nutritionist back at Stephen F. Austin, Sarah, which, as you may know her, she introduced us
Who's
through
amazing, by the way. She's incredible.
oh, I love her to death. Little side note, she'll have all of us like athletes come over to her house. She'll home cook meals for everyone, and especially being in college, yes, I adore her so much. But yeah, so we had a nutritionist meeting one day in our locker room, and she mentioned, oh, this company Alivea, because she was doing a sponsorship with her Wellness Matrix, her company as well.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the meeting, she said, if you want to get sponsored, like through an NIL deal, reach out to me. And so I thought, oh, interesting. Me as a freshman, I kind of want to get into that world, eventually build up my name, image, and likeness throughout my soccer career. And so I reached out to her and she told me a little bit about the company. I went and researched you guys. And my biggest thing was I've never seen a company, especially like a wellness company, your buy one, nourish one project in your mission statement. So I thought that was like a big determining factor and I'm a Christian, so me seeing that y'all were willing to help and serve others who are in need and probably need a lot more than we do was like a big determining factor for me. And then also on the flip side, like you guys, I've looked at all your ingredients, I've researched your products and stuff. I've tried a couple of your products as well. I think they're very beneficial, very um could benefit everyday people, but especially athletes as well, just because of the kind of ingredients that you guys use.
Well, yeah, you kind of, I really want to go back to the nourishing of the kids. We'll touch on that in a second, but I think it's so important because in today's world, you get these marketing giants and, things like Red Bull or Mountain or Monster or things like that. There's so many different things that both student athletes, but also just students and
Mhm.
everybody in the general world, just the marketing power of these companies, it just seems very attractive. But there's so many things in this that not necessarily. So the fact that, we're having specialized products that are geared towards your energy, your focus, your recovery, that's geared with something that's all built around your gut health and your immune system, has got to be a big thing. Especially, there's probably nothing worse than getting ready for a big tournament or matches during the season, and you're around a bunch of students and everybody's getting sick. You guys want to protect your immune system. So
Exactly.
I think that's got to be a huge thing. So, well, tell me a little bit about that's fascinating that you were most intrigued. What really caught you is this. So for those that are listening, we're a social business. We just surpassed 64 million servings of our key active ingredient called Ace Man into children in need. So every single serving creates a matching serving to children in need around the world. We're partnered with world leaders like President Fox from Mexico and others to be able to make that difference. Why did that speak out to you so much? What was it that caught your attention there? And what kind of impact would you like to have?
I don't know. I think my biggest thing was I've never seen a company uh project such a an image and a want to help others in need. You see all these like giant corporations like kind of as you mentioned like Red Bull, Monster, even like Gatorade and other sports energy drinks like that. They're from what I've seen and what I've known that they're just all about the money. It's all about name. It's all about how can I make my product um likable to other people no matter how I get there. I think you guys your call to want to help others and reach out to others and really put your best foot forward and give from your company has been like a huge impact of why I wanted to like work or have a sponsorship through you guys. That was my biggest thing. I thought it was really cool. It's something I've never seen before.
Well, that's well, and it is exceptionally rare, right? There's
Mhm.
some companies you're seeing this new trend towards social business. Bombast socks. I don't know if you've ever heard of Bombast socks
I heard
before.
yes.
So they're a social business. Buy a pair of socks, give a pair of socks. You're seeing this trend, and there's a fascinating line. There's a book from the old days before there was internet. So this is the age gap thing, but it was called Good to Great.
Mhm.
And Harvard Business Review talked about there's this new trend about it's not good enough just to be great. It's
Mhm.
about going from great to doing good. And I think leadership and seeing people like yourself saying, I want to align myself with companies about doing good is going to make a huge ripple around the world. Talk to me a little bit about um, uh, NIL. So for those that don't know about it, or maybe you're a student athlete, the NIL concept has really changed the student athlete experience because back in the day, you could never get sponsored, you could never get compensated, you can never earn money. But in today's world of influencers and these NIL arrangements, you can actually not only get benefits from Elevate, but you can earn income. How has that changed the sporting and kind of industry in the school system?
I think overall it's definitely taken off within the past couple of years, especially now that I've seen it, especially being a freshman, it's become a lot more prevalent. I think in some cases, I wouldn't say all, I'd say in some cases it's turned sports in the collegiate world a little bit more political than what it used to be because I don't know how I'm assuming how it was back then according to my parents as well. It's like football, for example, people used to play all the time just for fun. Like there weren't really yes, you would get scholarships, but that's pretty much all you would get. You would just play for the love of the game. Now, and I think in today's world and society, people can get traded even at a collegiate level rather than the pros. And you can sometimes get paid a lot more being 22, 21 years old in college than you can as a professional athlete. I think it's changed a lot in determining where you want to go to school, how much money you're going to receive from a school, how much money you're going to receive from your sponsorship through an NIL. So I think it's a big determining factor of a lot of athletes and what they want to play, where they want to play, but especially who they want to be sponsored by, who can give me the most money in order to put my name out there. And so I can get sponsored and show my name, obviously image and likeness.
Right. Well, it really has shifted the sporting world dramatically.
Mhm.
But I do think what's exciting is talking to you today and other college athletes that have already joined the Alavea movement and being sponsored is this passion around. It's not just about the money, but it's about if I can help myself be healthier, if I can help others be healthier, if I could use
Mhm.
my influence. Because I can tell you right now, if I heard you talking about health and wellness, I'm buying just your confidence and your passion and excitement. Like I would trust somebody like you who are saying like, yeah, this is something I really like and here's why. But then also to be able to see this impact and this ripple of, one of the cool things the company does is creates you get a free app and you can track the overall number of donations are donated because of the impact that you have. So well, share with me. I know we're about to go into the holiday season. What's your vision for 2026, both as a student athlete, both in soccer, but also now with your sponsorship with Alvea? What are you hoping for the next year?
Oh gosh, I mean, if I were
Big
to think about,
question.
yeah, very loaded question, but I think, especially as a student, finishing my first year being in college very strong. I mean, obviously to keep up my good grades because I have to for my sport in order to play. But I think aside from that, just really focusing on playing for the love of the game and not getting too caught up in playing time, competing against. Obviously,
Mm,
competition is a big key, but not competing too much against my other teammates because we're all on the same team. And just to remember why I wanted to play college soccer in the first place, it's been my dream ever since I was young. And the fact that
mm,
I'm living out my dream now, just to remember that and just staying grounded in why I wanted to play college sports. I believe as an Alavia athlete and especially as a having an NIL deal through you guys, I think just branching out and reaching out to others and just letting them know who you guys are and what your
mm.
purpose and your mission is. I've already talked to my parents about it. My mom's super on board. It's so funny. I My parents have already tried some of the products I brought home for Christmas, and my mom absolutely loves it. And so when I told her about the mission as well, both my parents were very on board. Like, oh yes, like we would love to like invest in this company and just buy products from them. And no,
That's
they
so
absolutely
cool.
love it. So just I think letting other people know who you guys are and what you guys stand for, and especially it's not just about your personal overall health and wellness, but also to reach out to the masses and those who are in need to help them as well.
Wow. That is, I mean, you're giving me more hope on the future of society. If we have a lot of if we have a lot of Rachels out there, you're extremely well spoken, and
Thank you.
I think there's this passion too around when you've been a student or when you've been an athlete, and there's something about then when you start coaching and mentoring and supporting others, and how
Mhm.
cool is it that you can be helping your parents live this healthier path too, that they can maybe fall in love with these products, make some small changes that will make a big difference for their health. It's the ripple effect is pretty incredible. So
Of course.
being coach, you said something at the ending, and this will be my last question for you, even though I feel like I could hang out here all day with you. But you've been coached by a lot of people. You said, have a lot of coaches and of course teachers. But with that coaching world, is there anything that a coach has kind of shared with you that kind of feels like you're just your demeanor, your confidence, how you shown up is phenomenal. So probably some of that's tied into some of the coaching. So is there any kind of a word of advice or what you've learned that you feel is like something that you like to share with others?
Specifically from a coach or just in
Sure.
general?
Yeah,
Okay,
from a coach.
let's see. My biggest thing I I like to try to have a lot of confidence in myself, but over the years it's also confidence comes in waves, it goes up and down, peaks and valleys. One of the biggest things my coaches told me was never forget why you choose to play the
Mm,
sport. Never forget it. Because once you start getting caught up in, let's say, the wins and like all the highs, and then you start to valley and exactly. Once you start to mentally, not mentally spiral, but if you become so caught up in the moment and it's taken, like, say the sport's taken away from you through either an injury or something very traumatic happens, you have to remember who you are as a person, not just as an athlete, but as a person. So staying grounded and just remembering why also you have love for the sport.
that is a perfect way to end it off. There's a great book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. So, that's a perfect example. Start with your why and everything else goes into effect from there. So, Rachel, what a great honor hanging out with you today. Thank you so much. And congratulations being both on your career, on your school, and your student, and also, of course, being partner now with Alivea. So it was a great honor hanging out with you today.
Thank you so much.
All right. To learn a little bit more, go to aliveapros.com for coaches, trainers, athletes, and healthcare professionals who would like to learn more. And of course, student athletes. We'd love to have you apply and be a partner with this company. So, all right. Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.